Consortium the Tower represents the culmination of 10 years of research and development we've been doing here at Interdimensional Games to fuse story and gameplay in such a way so as to realize a new genre of single-player game. It all started back in 2006 when we built an embryonic and small gameplay environment inside of which we began to experiment. Aiming to build a game within the deepest world possible, we began an extensive world-building process. As part of this process, we launched a free but content-rich interactive experience on the web that ultimately became known as our alternate reality game, which continues to this day. Through the Canada Media Fund and then later Kickstarter, we raised a tight budget, built a small but potent team, and then created Consortium Game 1 over 3 years of production. This is the final narrative structure of Game 1. It's a narrative web that gives players a ton of freedom to forge their own path through the story. The final 430-page interactive screenplay includes a cast of over 20 actors and 4,000 lines of recorded dialogue. We now had ourselves a formula. Eager to apply this formula and all of the feedback we received since launch to a brand new game, we dived headfirst into pre-production for The Tower. We learned Unreal 4 and prototyped a bunch of new mechanics and new ideas we wanted to bring to our second title. This brings us to right now. We stand ready for production. We're excited about being able to focus on implementing rather than inventing, because the overall production risk is much lower than it is for building new games from scratch. I've told you The Tower will feel like the original Deus Ex combined with Die Hard, and it will absolutely feel that way if you play it that way. But I have to emphasize, the amount of freedom you will have to be able to navigate through the narrative however you see fit is truly unprecedented and unlike any other game experience you've ever had. We believe we now stand on the verge of realizing our dream of a new genre of single-player game that blends storytelling and gameplay in such a way that it would be impossible to tell one from the other. Please consider backing us to allow us to continue the journey we started 10 years ago.